The July 14th, 1974 edition of a Pennsylvania newspaper called News Extra reported an incident that took place near the small coal mining town of Dixonville, Pennsylvania. But because of its nature, it'd been covered up for almost 30 years until the son of one of the mining inspectors who investigated the incident revealed it as his father, who's now passed away, had told it to him. This is the story of the Dixonville miners. In 1944, the father received a call that the mine in Dixonville, Pennsylvania had suffered a cave-in. Now, there were no names given in this newspaper article, so we are going to just refer to the father as James and to his partner as George. So James and George rushed to the site to start coordinating and helping with the search and rescue efforts. As soon as they get there, they find out that there are 15 men unaccounted for, and they immediately head inside the mine. Not very far from the entrance, they come across the first victim. And although the man is underneath a broken beam and is surrounded by rocks and rubble, both inspectors, based on their experience, were thinking that shouldn't have been enough to kill him. But upon closer inspection of the body, both men are surprised to see that the miner suffered from lacerations all over his body. Lacerations that look like something that were inflicted by a large animal, which of course makes no sense in a coal mine. So they leave that man and continue on into the mine looking for the others, and very quickly came across several more bodies, all of them dead, and they all have these large animalistic lacerations all over their bodies. But that's still not all 15 men. There are still some men missing. So James and George continue deeper into the mine. And the two men are slightly perplexed when they finally get to a place which should have been the end of that particular shaft, but it appears as if somebody had broken through a wall that led to another tunnel. Now, the inspectors didn't know that the collapse had actually happened right after that breakthrough to the next tunnel had occurred. So as they move through that opening, they are, unbeknownst to them, in unknown territory. Now, the Dixon mine is a draft mine, meaning it is a mine that is bored into the side of a mountain horizontally. But the new tunnel that they just found slopes down at about a 45-degree angle. So the two continue carefully forward and downward for about a half a mile until they get to what looks like a room, and they think it's the end of the passage. But it wasn't. As James and George slowly creep forward, the section right behind them all of a sudden collapses, dropping masses of dirt and rock. Now, fortunately for them, there are several other teams of miners searching the labyrinth of tunnels in the mine looking for the missing miners. And once they hear and feel the all too familiar rumble of a cave-in, they all start running looking for the new trouble spot. So the other rescue teams, hoping that they haven't just lost more of their friends, grab their lanterns and follow the inspector's footprints down that mysterious 45-degree tunnel till they get to the cave-in spot, where they start digging frantically, trying to free the inspectors. And at the same time, James and George find themselves in this big, dark cavern. And they can hear the men on the other side of that wall of rock and dirt shouting for them and starting to dig. And the collapse isn't really all that serious, so they know it's only going to take a few minutes before those people reach them. And as James and George are standing there, facing the pile of rubble, assessing the damage, and choking on all of the dirt and dust hanging in the air around them, James feels something like hot breath on the back of his neck, and he freezes and closes his eyes. He does not want to know what this thing is. And at that exact moment, the rescue workers break through the wall of rock and dirt, and the creature quickly retreats into the dark recesses of that subterranean maze of tunnels. George, however, observed the whole thing, and in absolute terror shouts, "That thing was not of this world."